Hi, the SI meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Thursday, May 23rd. Big changes are on the way for the Mid-Atlantic region. We'll transition from summer-like weather pattern to a rather winter-like weather pattern with a full-fledged coastal storm by the early part of the weekend. The transition from the summer warmth and humidity to another chilly air mass has really already begun. Yesterday was the peak in the heat, with high temperatures way up in the 80s, perhaps the upper 80s, throughout the southeastern part of Pennsylvania, down across the D.C. region, way up in the 70s across New York City. And by the weekend, we'll see low temperatures way down in the 40s. Some snow is possible in some of the highest elevations in the interior sections of the Mid-Atlantic and northeastern part of the country this weekend, as a nor'easter takes shape by the early part of the weekend. It'll affect the weather here in the Mid-Atlantic region right through Saturday, and even Sunday up in New York City will just feature some slow clearing finally by the afternoon. And the transition from the summer warmth to this next chilly air mass will definitely contain some heavy rainfall up and down the I-95 corridor, and possible strong to severe thunderstorm activity later today and tonight. Let's take a look at the latest surface map. Here's the cold front now extending southward from the Great Lakes throughout the Ohio Valley. There's actually an area of heavy showers and thunderstorms right now popping up over the central part of Oklahoma. The last thing they need in more Oklahoma, but right now heavy rainfall, even some hail, some severe weather in that part of the nation. Colder air is pouring into the upper part of the Great Lakes region and the upper part of the Midwest, already down into the 40s across Wisconsin. Strong Canadian high pressure, another chilly Canadian high pressure, working its way towards the East Coast. This front moves to the East Coast by late tonight, early tomorrow, but then it stalls and grinds to a halt as a nor'easter develops right in this region here, just off the Mid-Atlantic coast, moves slowly up the New England coastline over the early part of the weekend. Looks like pretty much a washout for places like Boston and Portland, with rain and wind throughout the weekend. And again, this nor'easter will affect the I-95 corridor right through the day on Friday and into the day on Saturday, and even early on Sunday in the New York City metropolitan region. Well, here is the latest infrared satellite loop from the Penn State EWAL site. It's a colorized infrared satellite loop. A couple things to point out. Scattered showers and thunderstorms already forming here in the northeastern part of the country. Any one of these showers that occurs over the next several hours can contain some heavy rainfall, and certainly any thunderstorm that develops this afternoon and evening in the Mid-Atlantic region can reach strong to severe levels, with heavy rainfall, strong wind gusts, and some possible hail. In fact, later today and early tonight, I expect to see scattered strong to severe thunderstorms up and down the East Coast from the Carolinas to New England. Look and see what's going on right here in central Oklahoma. The last thing they need right now, heavy rain, some severe weather in the central part of Oklahoma, right over Moore, Oklahoma, including some hail, as the tail end of that cold front has set off this band of heavy showers and thunderstorms right in the area of the country where they don't need it. Here's a current radar loop from the Penn State EWAL site. Scattered showers and thunderstorms already forming, and again, any one of these showers can produce heavy rainfall up and down the I-95 corridor anytime today throughout the morning hours and afternoon hours. Strong to severe thunderstorms should develop later on today, and any of those PM thunderstorms in the Mid-Atlantic region or northeastern part of the country can reach strong to severe levels, with heavy rainfall, strong gusty winds, and possible hail. Occasional rain will fall overnight tonight, and even some of that rain can be heavy at times up and down the I-95 corridor. Well, before we take a look at some GFS surface forecast maps for the upcoming event, here's the current upper level map. We've been showing this the last few days. It's really the culprit of all the severe weather problems we've been having in the central and eastern part of the country over the last 48 to 72 hours or so. This is a 500 millibar map, and very vigorous upper level low pressure trough continues to exist. It's only very slowly moving eastward. That's why severe weather has held on for a couple of days throughout the central part of the nation, and it's slowly moving into the east. This will do a couple of things as it moves towards the East Coast. It'll produced a possibility of severe weather in the mid-Atlantic region and northeastern part of the country this afternoon and tonight. And then it'll continue to dig to the south and east by the early part of the weekend, and that'll help to spawn a nor'easter in the mid-Atlantic coastal region early part of the weekend that will slowly move up the New England coastline on the Memorial Day weekend. Well, let's use last night's Zero-Z GFS model run to look at GFS surface map forecast for the upcoming weekend. We'll begin with this evening's forecast map, Thursday evening, and then go through 12-hour increments right to Sunday morning. Lots of weather to talk about. Heavy rainfall is a certainty here in the Mid-Atlantic region over the next 12 to 24 hours or so. Some strong to severe thunderstorms will also develop throughout the eastern part of the country later on today and tonight. By this evening, strong cold front will be approaching the east coast. Here it is right now, setting off lots of shower and thunderstorm activity, including some heavy rainfall. Here's the strong, cold Canadian high pressure already pushing colder air into the upper part of the Great Lakes region, the upper part of the Midwest. Temperatures in the 40s this morning in Wisconsin. That slowly moves to the south and east over the next 12 to 24 hours or so. Let's now jump ahead to Friday morning's forecast. And here's the forecast map for Friday morning. By this time, that cold front is lying right along the east coast. Notice here the big push of air behind this front is really north to south. We don't see the typical northwest to southeast flow of air that we sometimes see behind cold frontal systems. And what this will allow for is for the front to stall. And meanwhile, in the upper part of the atmosphere, we have that digging, very vigorous upper level low, and that'll help to slow down the front as it reaches the east coast later tonight and develop a nor'easter. In fact, let's jump ahead to tomorrow evening's forecast map. And here it is, a downright winter-like pattern setting up here. Here is a coastal low by tomorrow evening, and it's not done yet. It's still intensifying. Notice the cold air. This is typically used as a rain-snow line. Watch what this does over the next couple of days. There's even a pocket here already over central PA, the higher elevations of central PA, in this what will become a kind of a winter-like pattern by the early part of the weekend. Again, this is tomorrow evening with a developing nor'easter. Here's the forecast map now for Saturday morning. A strong low-pressure area sitting off the New England coastline or northeastern part of the country. Strong, cold, high pressure here dropping south and east. The rain-snow line cutting through parts of New England, New York State. Don't be surprised if there's some snowflakes at some of the higher elevation locations by late Friday night, and early on Saturday. In places like the Adirondacks, the Green and White Mountains up in New England, in any area above 2,000 feet in the interior higher elevation locations this weekend in the northeastern part of the country can actually see some snowflakes. Just an ugly day, really, from Boston down to New York City, down to Philadelphia, even down to D.C. On Saturday will be affected by this nor'easter, at least early part of the day on Saturday in the D.C. region. Here's the forecast map for Saturday night. Not much movement, just a slow-moving nor'easter. Look at this little pocket of below 0 degree air at 850 millibars. In other words, there can be some snowflakes mixed into the in the higher elevation locations across the mid-Atlantic and northeastern part of the country. Just an ugly day up and down the New England coast, all the way down into New Jersey and even the eastern part of Pennsylvania on Saturday with windy and cool conditions and some occasional showers. Here's the forecast map for Sunday morning. Finally starting to slowly lift out, but certainly still a lousy day in Maine and throughout the New England area with still quite a windy and cool conditions and some occasional showers. Slowly clearing out here across southeastern Pennsylvania and perhaps by afternoon in the New York City region. Still breezy and cool, certainly below normal for this time of the year. No doubt that Monday looks like the best day of the holiday weekend in the Mid-Atlantic region. Certainly better than Saturday or Sunday. By Monday, it looks like this finally pulls away and this high pressure area takes firm control of the weather here in the Mid-Atlantic region. Mostly sunny skies up and down the I-95 corridor on Monday, but it'll have to go through a lot of weather before we get to that point, including the threat for heavy rain later on today and tonight. Stay tuned to the SIweather.com. Quite an amazing transition here this time of the spring to go from a summer-like pattern to a rather winter-like pattern by the early part of the weekend. I'm the SI meteorologist, Paul Dorian.